Back with us now, attorney Jonna Spilbor, as we lay out all of the complexities of this case, in addition to the murders of Maggie and Paul. You've got the boat accident, you've got the financial fraud connected to the housekeeper's death, and you've got the tragic death of Stephen Smith that has still remained unsolved. The judge in this case will have to decide what, if anything, is admissible. What will he be taking into consideration tomorrow and in the days to come?
My best guess is that so much of that ancillary stuff, so much of the cases that don't directly involve the two murder charges at issue in this trial will likely not come in. And I think if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, the Murdaugh defense camp has basically said they are going to mount not only a technical defense, meaning you can expect a lot of objections, but also that they're going to mount the third-party culpability defense. So the things that make us, in our guts, believe that Alex Murdaugh is guilty of these murders is likely not to come in at all, because it's going to be propensity evidence, things that are just not allowed under the rules of evidence. They are going to be very narrow. The prosecution is going to be in a very narrow lane to have to simply prove the elements of these two murders and the weapons charges. And if the defense attorneys are true to their word, they're going to keep them in a very, very tight lane.
What about this fact that we're hearing that representatives from Google and Snapchat will be likely called to testify in this case because there could be some sort of video evidence from the night of the murders from Paul's phone? That is an allegation being put out there. How does that factor in to the evidence and how the defense will respond?
You know, it's very interesting because, and please pardon this pun, I don't think there's going to be a smoking gun in this case, which means the prosecution is going to have to take everything they can find admissible to try to prove circumstantially the elements of these offenses. The prosecution has said, yes, there's some cell phone video out there that puts the defendant at the scene of the crime, but the veracity of that, the reliability of that is definitely going to be tested, because when it comes to that kind of evidence, the cell phone evidence, whether it's a ping, whether it's a video, those types of things can be manipulated. Those types of things, if not preserved and tested on either side, are subject to a battle of the experts, so to speak. So if the judge allows that in, you can bet the defense will also be allowed to call experts to testify that, you know, the timing or the veracity of that type of evidence is just not enough to convict him beyond a reasonable doubt.
Real quickly, Jonna, it is going to be challenging to seat a jury in this case because it is such a small community. Everyone knows this family and everyone knows the story. What is the likelihood of a hung jury with fear as an element in the jury pool?
That's such a great question. You know, I think at this point, maybe, since the Murdaugh family has so fallen from grace, perhaps a jury won't be too fearful. It's not like, you know, you have a mob defendant, right, that they might be fearful of a repercussion after the verdict. But I do think that the prosecution really has a tough row to hoe, despite all of the things we know on the outskirts, because that information, that evidence will likely not see the light of day. So when you have the defense camp saying it was this guy and not my guy, there's an excellent chance for a hung jury here, if not a flat-out acquittal.
We'll see. Attorney Jonna Spilbor, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.